Back in the 1990s, the thought of Sonic in a car was strange, to say the least. With such speed at his disposal, no vehicle was necessary, or so we thought. Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo was a smash hit. It brought speedy and frantic multiplayer racing action into the living rooms of many. Sega saw this and decided that Sonic and the gang needed a racer of their own. With Sega's racing pedigree, with games like Outrun or Hang On, which were arcade smash hits, it did make sense. The first Sonic Drift title was released in 1994 on the Sega Game Gear, exclusively in Japan. To put it lightly, the game was not well received, many citing the awful controls, useless items, and poor track design. It played like a poor Hang On or Outrun, and we never saw a release stateside until Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PS2 and Xbox. However, the sequel, Sonic Drift 2, was released in all regions on the Game Gear in 1995. Would the second attempt fare any better? Being released toward the end of the Game Gear's life cycle in 1995, Sonic Drift 2 doesn't get a lot of attention, and that's unfortunate. The same can be said about most Game Gear games nowadays, since the Game Gear seems to be all but forgotten. It's a shame, since the racing action here is satisfying. With the exception of some of the items, it plays less like Super Mario Kart and more like Outrun. You can choose to play as either Sonic, Amy, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, Metal Sonic, and Fang, who I honestly forgot existed. He was in Sonic the Fighters and some of the comics as well. You and 3 other characters speed along multiple tracks from the Sonic universe. The game looks quite great, especially for a handheld title. Tracks are colorful. Sonic Universe is well represented here, with tracks ranging from Green Hill Zone to Hilltop Zone, Casino Night Zone, even the Death Egg Zone. Many tracks have different environmental hazards, such as Quake Cave for example. There are fire pillars that appear on the track that will drag you to a halt. In Rainy Savannah, lightning strikes, making the screen flash for a split second, hampering your view. Each track does feel genuinely unique from an environmental standpoint, which is impressive considering the hardware. Overall, Sonic Drift 2 plays quite well. Like I said before, it's more similar to Outrun or Hang On rather than Super Mario Kart, but there are some similarities to the iconic kart racer as well. For example, the items are very similar. The spring makes you bounce like a feather in Super Mario Kart, and the invincibility power-up functions just like a star. What is a little bit different are that each character has its own specific item. Rings are scattered around to collect and are used for character-specific power-ups. For example, using 2 rings grants Metal Sonic a speed boost very similar to a mushroom in Super Mario Kart. But I still found item play to not play as big of a role in Sonic Drift 2 as it would in a Mario Kart title, which is not a bad thing. It's more about pure racing, and that is a-okay by me. Each character has their own set of strengths and weaknesses. For example, Sonic has high acceleration, high speed, and very low handling. Eggman, on the other hand, is completely flipped. He has low acceleration, low speed, and very high handling. From what I've played, and I've played many hours of this game over the years, speed usually kills. I've had more success with Metal Sonic and Sonic than I would with the slower characters like Tails, Amy, and Eggman. The reason being is that for the most part, even with low handling, as long as you're constantly tapping the 1 button to drift around corners, and as long as you start memorizing the tracks, you're going to be pretty successful and you're still going to be able to keep your speed. Also with the faster characters like Metal Sonic and Sonic, the high speed dash power-up, just like the mushroom, are specific to those characters, and they are very, very useful down the stretch. And while we're on the topic of speed, you're definitely going to need it also because the AI, in typical 90s racer fashion, is very rubber bandy. But what I mean by that is, the further you get ahead, the faster the AI behind you goes. If you played Mario Kart 64, which I'm sure most of you have, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Here are some examples here. Watch how fast Knuckles flies by me here on Casino Night Zone. And then here on the next one, watch how fast Tails starts narrowing the gap between me and him. If you played any of the previous 8-bit Sonic titles on either the Master System or the Game Gear, then you'll know exactly what the sound is going to be like here. A lot of reused sounds. That's not a bad thing because the sound is fine, it's just not overly exceptional. The music is decent for the most part, but for a Sonic title, that's a disappointment. Even the worst Sonic games have exceptional music, Sonic 06 being an example. And for a series loaded with quality music, I'd say the soundtrack is a bit of a disappointment. After I turned off the game, I don't really remember any of the music, and that's a sign that it's just not very memorable. As far as replayability and game modes go, there are 3 Chaos Grand Prix to play through, each with 6 tracks. Winning all 6 tracks in each Grand Prix will net you all of the Chaos Emeralds, which will lead to the final boss fight. It's a nice touch and made me want to replay the Grand Prix to see those boss fights. There's a free run mode, which is similar to a time trial mode like any other racer, and as well as multiplayer. I unfortunately didn't get to mess around with the multiplayer mode as I don't have multiple link cables. I can imagine it'd be a blast though if you can get all of the link cables and multiple Game Gears together. All in all, if you're a Sonic fan or into the Sega Game Gear, I do recommend Sonic Drift 2. It differentiates itself just enough from Mario Kart, it's fast and frantic, and it may not be one of the best Sega racers of all time, but that's a tough list to be on. So as it stands, I do recommend it. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and if you did like it, consider hitting that subscribe button. I do stream on Twitch as well at twitch.tv/GrandRetroStation, where I stream mostly retro games, and I do also stream on YouTube a good bit too, also here at Grand Retro Station. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.